A small introduction of mine. I'm Gaurav Toshniwal. I most recently worked as the head of engineering at Doubtnut, which is an edtech company. We recently got acquired by Allen, which is Allen Digital, which is a sort of subsidiary of Allen, the coaching behemoth from Kota. And now I'm working as the director of engineering at Allen. उससे पहले I did a couple of startups and I worked in UAE for a couple of years. Mostly for most of my life, I have been an engineering manager or a manager in some ways. I mean, engineering manager as a title is, I don't know, weird, but a manager in some ways, क्योंकि कॉलेज खत्म होते ही स्टार्टअप चालू कर लेता है. स्टार्टअप में तो आप ही मालिक हो, आप ही सब कुछ हो. So you are by default a manager. But of course, over the whole journey, there were a lot of learnings, lot of unlearnings. आपने कुछ सीखा that did not work in some other context, and you had to unlearn those things and so on and so forth. So very interestingly, a lot of those learnings of mine came from a bunch of books that I read over the course, and let me put the title. The title of the talk is basically Bookish Knowledge of Engineering Management, or it is in general bookish knowledge of management. So fundamentally, there's only so much that you can learn from your own experience, right? I mean, you can't be in 10 places at all the times. There's only a finite amount of time that you have. The best bet is to learn from others' experiences, speak to others, or maybe in fact, in my case, my preferred way of learning is through books, because the authors have one, they are very much credible. They have either been into the industry, or they are serious researchers who have through research figured out their learnings into management. So that's the idea, that's the thought. I hope अभी तक भी मेरे को भी नहीं पता कि क्या करना होता है as a manager. It's a lot of gray area. So let's hope कि कुछ तो interesting takeaways मिलेंगे. But any new engineering managers in the house? Anyone who just became an engineering manager?
या फिर just एकदम गोली मोड में है कि तुम्हें बनाने
बस बना who are aspiring engineering who are aspiring engineering managers,
or founders who are like managing a team, don't know it's engineering or they
okay, interesting. So it strikes shortly after you have become a manager that, oh shit, what did I get into? Because no one knows again. Again, a lot of these books exist, but it's all very, very contextual. So let's go to some other questions. Being a manager, what are the some of the key learnings that you have had over the course of your experience? Anyone? Oh, by the way, there are some giveaways. Okay. अब बताओ.
I'll go. So no amount of appraisal is enough for your.
Absolutely.
सरप्राइजेस की मैनेजर बनने के पहले ही काम मिल जाता है. ये कसम एक साल बाद
Hard to get, like, bro, you're getting 50%.
Welcome to 2020 and 2021. Crazy था यार. Any other key learnings? चलो कोई नहीं.
you have to manage many Excel sheets.
That's also management.
Always in the mode to find the right tool that will replace the Excel sheet, but you never.
You come getting back to it.
I'm मुझसे बात करो.
Okay, so yes, I think this is the most excellent, the OG of all the engineering books, all the management books out there. I think अगर ऐसे थोड़ा सा geeky terms में बोला तो source code यही है, बाकी सब ने clone करके और फिर बनाया है. Andy Grove, who was the legendary CEO of Intel for a very long time, yeah, I mean, this is one of the best pieces of literature on management. The very core concept that सबको पता है, but मतलब you just need to keep reminding yourself is that the output of your output as a manager is the cumulative output of the organization which is under your influence, and this is so key, and especially for new managers, it is something that takes time to internalize, because you just move from IC to a manager role. You are still doing a lot of your IC work, which you are doing good, which you might be doing good, but that's the whole point of engineering management, that your output is the output of the organization under your influence, which obviously means that your achievements are your team's achievements are your achievements, and your team's failures are also your failures, which is the core concept of this book, Extreme Ownership. It is written by two ex-Navy SEALs who talk about management in the context of battlefield, and battlefield से ज़्यादा कहाँ पे अच्छा management चाहिए होता है, because it's a matter of life and death and winning and losing a battle, real battles, right? So they take a lot of examples of their situations from the battlefield, and then they sort of suggest things that you management principles which you can apply in your business life or even your personal life, right? इस किताब का एक बहुत ही फनी सार ये है कि भाई सब तुम्हारी गलती है, एंड माई वाइफ टेंड्स टू अग्री. So the most important thing is, as a leader, the ownership of all failure is yours and yours only. There is no one else to blame. I mean, all of us have been into situations where some things got haywire, something wrong happened, frequent production issues, missed deadlines of some key projects, and so on and so forth. होता ही है, बहुत सारी चीज़ें फटती है. And I am sure, raise your hands if you have found yourself in the situation where you are explaining to someone superior that this happened, this was his fault or her fault, or the situation was not right or whatnot, right? We have all been there, right? It's natural, it's human. But the thing is that it is actually, according to the authors, and I now tend to believe them, कि it is all bullshit. It is completely our fault, our mistake. Could have been a bunch of things. We did not explain the goals of the project clearly. We did not emphasize on the importance of the project. We were not very clear on what is required, what is not required, etc. A lot of times we tend to say that this person did not do his or her job well, and it is your onus to let go of the person who's not doing his or her job well for the longest period, right? I mean, you can't keep on doing that. Some people, I mean, everyone has their downtimes, which is acceptable, but you can't keep on repeating on the same thing. I mean, you're not doing your job as a manager if you're still not letting go of people who are not contributing positively to the goals of the team. And of course, basic चीज़ तो ये है कि whatever you don't acknowledge, you can't fix that. The first step to fixing something is acknowledging that there is a problem. So the suggestion, the guideline is generally that the authors have given here is acknowledge the mistake, then create a plan to win. मतलब केवल acknowledge करके तो क्या ही करेंगे, हाँ मेरी गलती है. Next step, okay, create a plan to win. And third step is obviously execute. Not only it will help in eventually improving the output and consistency of your team and your organization, but it will also create a trust, trust with your managers, your entire company. Because I mean, who would you rather trust? Someone who keeps on saying कि यार ये इस वजह से फट गया, ये इस वजह से प्रॉब्लम हो गया, इस वजह से हो गया, और someone who says कि यार I know, I accept that there is a problem, here's the plan to fix it, and this is what we'll do, right? So that's the point. The other concept is that there are no bad teams, there are only bad leaders. I mean, बहुत ही ऑब्वियस सा एग्जाम्पल इसमें तो ये है कि अ लॉट ऑफ कंपनीज हैव मेड ह्यूज टर्न अराउंड आफ्टर जस्ट चेंजिंग द CEO. Nothing else changed, right? I mean, did the market change? No. Did the other team change? No, primarily not. तो आइडिया तो यही है कि यार it's only the if changing the CEO changes the whole company, then there's something wrong with the manager only, right? था क्या?
इसमें थोड़ा कंफ्यूजन था.
I mean, like let's discuss because it'll good to have.
लीडर आता है वो कुछ तो मतलब उसके कुछ तो बंदे रहते ही कुछ तो शफल करता ही है वो.
हाँ, of course. I mean, but still, like at least fair. But at the end of the day, the person who like the same decisions could have been taken by the person who was at the helm earlier as well, right?
Earlier
That's-
CEO could have also replaced those guys. Like,
or brought in the relevant people. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. I mean, fair enough. Ki, matlab, I mean, yeah, I do see that ki if someone new comes in, they do get their sort of
but
close
that's part of
people.
the action now.
Huh?
That's part of the action that the earlier CEOs have taken.
Yeah. They
The right
they could have.
leaders. Yeah.
Like the way when you move into a new room ना वो अपने हिसाब से छोटा कमरा अपनी चादर अपना पिलो लेकर
Cool. So again, Andy Grove mentioned something called managerial leverage, which is basically that as a manager you can choose to do things and activities which will increase the overall output of your organization, and we'll talk about some of those things. So one of the things is that as a manager, you are the role model for the team. I mean, the team will always reflect on your behavior, whatever you do. If you are someone who passes on the blame, they will pass on the blame. If you are someone who accepts the mistake and improves upon the plan, improves on that, they will continue doing that, right? So a manager, the team tends to reflect the manager's behavior, which brings us to another point which is mentioned in extreme ownership, which says that you as a manager, you as a leader needs to believe in the mission. If you don't, you can't excite your team about the mission, the project, or whatever, right? And they will have questions, they will ask questions. If you don't believe, it is your ownership, it is completely on you to understand the goals of the mission and to align with your seniors, company managers, to believe in the mission. Again, even if you don't fundamentally do that, finally you agree to disagree, but you commit to the mission. But at the end of the day, if you don't commit, the mission is doomed to fail, of course. I mean, a bunch of people working on something which they don't believe in versus a bunch of people who believe in the mission, who is more probable to win. The second one, right? And we go back to the managerial leverage. The one most important thing of managerial leverage is setting clear objectives. Let's go to this other book called 1 Minute Manager by Ken Blanchard and Spencer Johnson. The first concept that they mention in this book is 1 minute goals. How many of you have felt, or how many of you agree that if today you say that this is my job and you ask your boss what is my job, you will get two different answers? Always, right? I mean, it is undeniable fact, and it is so funny. It is so funny कि दो लोग साथ में रोज काम कर रहे हैं. Both of them cannot align on what is the definition of my job, and this is the core concept of 1 minute manager, which is 1 minute expectation, 1 minute goal setting. I mean, it is, while it is funny, it is also sad that this happens because they get to know about it when something fails, or they get to know about it in the worst case during annual reviews. चल रहे होंगे अभी बहुत सारों के. आगे मैनेजर बोले कि तूने ये नहीं किया था, मेरे को करना थोड़ी था ये. When did you tell that I was supposed to do this, right? So yeah, unfortunately, that's the fact. And then other very important role of the manager is motivating the team, and I think it is the most core at the core of any manager's job role, that motivating the team. And it's obvious, right? I mean, who would work better, a team that is motivated or a team which is not motivated? Because I think it's very clear that in case of engineering or creative roles, you can say, or knowledge roles, it is very difficult to measure the output. इंडस्ट्रियल ज़माने में ये था कि यार आप अच्छा सेल्स में फॉर एग्जांपल टुडे आल्सो कितना सेल्स लेके आए हो, क्लियरली यू कैन सी, यू कैन गेट द नंबर्स, यू कैन सी इफ इट इज़ इनफ और नॉट. वो देखो, वो सेल करता रहता है, उसको पता है उसका कितना तो उसका गोल क्लियर है, वो अपने नंबर से दिखा सकता है. बट एज अ इंजीनियरिंग मैनेजर it is very difficult to show that, right? So your best bet is people who are driven. They will tend to do more than that, more than they are expected to, or more than what has been asked to. They will stick with you for longer, and so on. So this is one of the biggest managerial leverages of motivating the team. How do you motivate the team? There are a lot of things mentioned in different literature. Andy Grove mentions a few of these. The things that Andy Grove mentions is first, setting clear objectives, which is what we spoke about in 1 Minute Manager. The other is constructive feedback. Constructive feedback, because I can tell you're not doing this right, but at the same time I do have to also explain that this is what is expected, this is what needs to be done. And then extrinsic motivation can be things like recognition, reward, salary, compensation, etc., which is, as we all know now, not enough. कितना भी दे दो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. There's a very interesting book on motivation called Drive by Daniel Pink. In this book, the author presents some principles which help motivating the team: autonomy, mastery, and purpose. Autonomy is basically people are free to decide what they work on, when they work on, whom with they work, etc. Mastery is basically there's an intrinsic motivation to get better at doing certain thing. Mastery is you can have your team or motivate your team in a way that they are working on things which are increasingly difficult for them, and they'll be more motivated. And then purpose, which is obviously working on something which is greater than yourself. Fortunately, I've been I've worked for multiple things where the purpose was clearly very, very big. Like in Asan Jobs, which was a blue collar jobs portal where getting a job will change people's lives. In Doubtnut, I had the opportunity to work on something which is still impacting millions of students in learning. So purpose is supremely important. Then there's this interesting book, Radical Candor by Kim Scott. तो ये दो एक्सेस है बेसिकली. वन इज केयर पर्सनली एंड अदर इज चैलेंज डायरेक्टली. केयर पर्सनली इज in the word itself, that you really care about the well-being of the person and you care about their success. Well-being तो मैं ये भी बोल सकता हूँ कि यार घर बैठ के चिल मारो, आराम करो, जिम जाओ, बढ़िया से खाना खाओ. That is also well caring personally, but that's not helping the person in their success. Challenging directly is again that you give them specific challenges and you sort of give them improvement oriented feedback whenever it is necessary. a combination of both of these is what the author calls radical candor. And imagine if you care for someone for their success and you give them direct feedback, it is the best combination to motivate someone, right?
अभी किस quadrant में maths का मिलेगा?
Good question. who all believe they are in this quadrant as a manager?
And all 4 quadrants at certain times are important.
Spoken like a manager.
That's absolutely true, actually. I think we all have been in all 4 quadrants at some time.
डाउनटाइम होते ही obnoxious है
यार I think यहाँ पे काफी कम रहे होंगे if at all.
अरे depends on department also. Sales में वो obnoxious aggression चलता है. Engineering में different हो गया.
HDFC वाली जो call you
So, which brings us to 1 minute manager. Again, there are 2 other concepts which have been mentioned in 1 minute manager. Yeah, so 1 minute का इसमें फंडा ये है कि like as a manager, the biggest leverage is that you spend least amount of your time in doing things which have the highest impact. So, the author here mentions an 80-20 rule, and which is sort of universal कि 20% of what you do will cause 80% of the impact. So he says that or they say that focus on just those 20% things to get the highest impact, and that's why they try to suggest that keep it within a minute, keep all of these activities within a minute, so that you don't spend your or the team's time significantly. Even the book is, by the way, this is the other book from 1 minute manager's authors. ये भी इतनी है, 1 minute manager भी इतनी है. हाँ, मतलब somewhere around this.
They're very precise at what they're saying.
Exactly. So the first is 1 minute appreciations. I think we all can agree that almost always managers tend to focus on the negative कि यार तूने ये नहीं किया, तुझे अच्छा करना चाहिए था. But we completely forget most of the times that we need to appreciate first. I mean, when is the last time that you were appraised for doing something, and how did you feel? Like, did you feel motivated to work more, or did you feel chill कि अब तो हो गया अपना काम खत्म? I'm sure you felt motivated. I felt motivated the last time I was appraised, right? So this is something. This is profound, that we tend to forget this thing as a manager. कि यार पहले, and this is what the authors say, कि यार पहले appreciate कर लो. And also they say a very particular thing, that the appreciation should also be immediate and specific. जैसे ही कुछ अच्छा किया, the moment you catch them doing something well, you appreciate and be very specific about it. Don't just say that oh, you're good. Say that you did something which helped in something, and that's great. I mean, be specific in that sense. And then obviously you need to again challenge directly principle from radical candor, which is if someone did make a mistake, which obviously everyone does at some point, you need to redirect. The word पहले reprimand हुआ करता था in the previous version of this book, but I think being more politically correct, they changed it to redirect. But basically 1 minute redirects, which are again very immediate, specific, give them some time to reflect on this feedback, and then guide them towards correcting this behavior, which is again in some ways the same knowledge is across different books, but shared in different ways. This is basically what radical candor is, right? Okay, so coming to other leverages of a manager, I picked very limited set of things because ज़्यादा लंबा हो जाएगा. I think I've already overshot. But one-on-one meetings are the biggest leverage meetings that you can do with your team. It helps them open up. one question that I tend to ask very, very specifically at the end of the meeting is there anything that I can do to make your work better? And that opens up, like that helps people open up really well. I mean, a lot of times I've asked this question. One particular time I asked this, and then the person opened up कि यार आप तो ना सारा solution आप खुद देने के आतुर रहते हो, मतलब थोड़ा हमें भी like, I mean, don't steal the thunder from us. And that's when I realized, oh, yeah, that makes sense. I should not do that. And of course, you need to work on those things also as manager and when you get feedback.
So there are two facets to this question actually, and the one which you are doing is what the manager should not do, and both questions should be asked explicitly, and that literally helps.
Should do and should not do. Yeah. Makes sense. Absolutely.
When I ask this question, a lot of them they ask me to do their jobs. ये stakeholder से please convince करो. Okay, so the boss is me. Your job.
Quadrant के bottom वाले
Another high leverage management activity is delegation. I think it is the central leverage activity because you are multiplying your throughput by delegating. One of the core things that Andy Grove mentions here is task related maturity. TRM is what he calls it, which is when delegating you should be cognizant of the fact that everyone is not equally trained at everything. Of course, people can learn, but initially they will need more handholding, and later on you can reduce the amount of handholding. So this is just a framework for that. कि जब maturity low है, you have to be hands-on and prescriptive. When the maturity is medium, just coach them. And when the maturity is high, you just agree on outcomes, and that's it. Let them figure out what they want to do. And just finally, I think we are through. But of course, management is super difficult. There's no one management style fits all solution, right? I mean, 10-12 साल के बाद में मैं भी आज भी रोज फिगर आउट ही कर रहा हूँ कि कैसे मैनेज करना है. Even the same team, managing in two different situations can be entirely different, right? So I mean, everyone has to figure out their own management philosophies and iterate upon it. Cool, awesome. That's all from my end. बहुत सारा बोल लिया मैं. But yeah, any thing that you thought कि this rang the bell for me from the session. I would love the feedback.
I like the book that you kind of. So it's my favorite book. So
Oh, is it?
like managing it.
I realize obnoxious aggression.
अब बुक भी पढ़नी पड़ेगी मतलब. One additional.
No, I think that is kind of a very good book. Like, I would suggest hard up strongly. You should read it.
Yeah. I know there are.
Just transforming into manager style. Like they should know that being a good guy versus a manager is very different thing.
Yeah. And I think the whole idea of coming to the idea of books, it is that यार books बड़ी होती हैं, they take time to finish. I mean, मतलब 14 साल में भी मैंने शायद 5-7 ही किताबें पढ़ी होंगी ऐसा. But the depth that they take you to, the reason why a summary of a book does not work as well as a book is that they take you through certain depths, and you sort of start internalizing that. That's what I personally believe. क्योंकि मतलब मैंने भी थोड़ा optimize करने के लिए काफ़ी बार summaries पढ़ी है, but whenever I write summary, I could not register that as much. So yeah, that's why books.
Just a question, right? All of this has a very strong role of if founders understand this, then it's perfect. But if founder doesn't understand this, then it's like becomes very difficult for anybody to apply all these things. Like
Yeah.
that has been my experience.
Hmm.
We talk about everything bullshit.
own the mistake and get into the obnoxious aggression territory.
As per your culture plays a massive role in this. Right?
Yeah.
very good.
Absolutely. I think unless a lot of things can come from the top, it's very difficult to propagate. But again, extreme ownership.
This is,
guys.
this is where managing your manager becomes more important than
Very true. It becomes
Absolutely.
difficult. It's not SME, but it's not visible. It's become really difficult.
True. Cool. Perfect. Rohit.